Welcome to the Evening Review. My name is Mokgware. Tonight we are speaking to retired Major General of the Botswana Defence Force's Ground Commander Pius Mokgware. He weighs in on what happened in the Chobe district where 4 men were killed. He'll share his thoughts on what led to the incident and what can be done to avoid such incidents from carrying out. But before we go into the interview, please do take a look at today's newspaper. Good afternoon, General, and thank you for for accepting our invitation for the evening review. General, I want to understand, where does the shoot-to-kill policy emanate from?
Well, let me just first of all be very, very clear that as Botswana, we do not really, we are saddened by loss of life, but I want to clarify that we do not have a shoot-to-kill policy because we have our own rules of engagement. We have the orders for opening fire. So we don't really have a policy of shoot-to-kill.
Okay, General, to put it then into context, many are under the impression that this is a policy that was rolled out, or that was an order that was given, but that was also subsequently reversed. So then, where did this come in?
Well, the word shoot-to-kill was coined by other people. But we as a country, or we as the defense force, we don't actually have that. Each and every soldier who there in the field is given the rules of engagement, and is given a booklet, which is a pinkish in color, called Orders for Opening Fire, whereby you follow the normal international standards of challenging an individual so that the individual can identify themselves and they can explain where they're coming from. So that is what we do, and that is what our soldiers do there.
General, are you still there? Yes, General, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there, my friend.
Okay, General, given now of the incidents that had happened in the Chobe district, what is the what is the treatment that is extended by the BDF to poachers that themselves are citizens of Botswana?
You said that. Can you say it again?
Many would be under the impression that citizens of Botswana or poachers that are from Botswana are treated differently to foreign nationals. Would that assumption be true or fair?
No, sir. That is totally not true. Let me just put you in the right context. Mm-hmm. You know the area which you are referring to right now, that the area around the Chobe area, around the Kasane area. That area is restricted. That from 6 o'clock, no movement is allowed around that particular area from 6 in the evening until 6 in the morning. No fishing is allowed in that particular area, and it is clearly marked, the restricted area. It is only for the soldiers there who are moving around that area, patrolling that particular area. Not even the locals are allowed. Even at the gate there, at the entrance of the park, it's clearly the gates close at 6 o'clock. So we don't have any other rules for the locals, rules for the foreigners. No. That one we don't have.
Okay, thank you, General. If one has to put, if I were to put myself in the shoes of the members of the armed forces that are patrolling and that have to control poaching within Botswana's national parks, how difficult is it from the side of the soldiers?
Well, this is a very difficult situation. We have lost quite a number of soldiers in the same area there which you are talking about, which are currently we are now having a problem with, whereby our soldiers were shot, without caution by the poachers in that particular area. Now, when you encounter people or any other moving object around 11:30 in the night, so you have to pause and you have to try and appreciate the target or that sort of movement. After appreciating it, if it is an individual, you see whether the individual is armed. If the individual is having a rifle, you challenge that individual. Whether he's, you ask him to stop, to halt, stop, raise up your hand. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And then you find that in most cases, our soldiers would never have that particular opportunity. When the poachers see a soldier, they fire first. This is what we have experienced over the number of years. And it is difficult even for the soldiers now to make decisions on those, because you have a split of a second to say, the person you see here, is he a poacher or maybe just an individual who is just lost in the park?
Mm. Then, General, I want to understand, do you believe that incidents such as this, where the 4 individuals were shot, do you think, could this incident have been avoided? And what are the measures that governments, or both governments, all governments in that area should be looking at to ensure that such incidences do not happen again?
This sort of incident of making sure that people from Botswana don't go into Namibia, people from Namibia don't go into Botswana. Before, we used to have a coordinated patrols between Botswana Defence Force and the Namibian Defence Force, whereby we are actually communicating every day when we undertake all those patrols. And I think what we have to do, those patrols, they have to be reintroduced again on both sides of the border, not only on Botswana, whereby now we even educate our citizens that they should not cross the borders at illegal entry points. They should not cross the borders at night. So if we can go back to that sort of a system which we used to have, we can avoid situations like this ones.
General, how would you describe the level of cooperation currently with as far as armed forces are concerned, and also
the level of cooperation between Botswana and Namibia is very high.
Excuse me, General? General, are you still there?
Quite a long way, and even the security forces of Namibia and Botswana, they have worked peacefully together for a very long time, and this is something which we should actually cherish. This is something which we should actually try and build. This sort of situations, they should not break us, but they should give us more energy so that we can work closer together.
General, you mentioned that there used to be joint patrols that occurred within this area. What happened? What happened that we don't see that these what led to the stop of these operations?
Well, in Botswana, we are continuing operating along the border. We are continuing patrolling the border. But I think for our counterparts there, I think that is a question which they might answer perfectly well.
Okay, General. Recently we saw that truck drivers that were crossing from Kasane into Namibia were stoned. We saw that there were recently marches that were held where people handed over a petition to the High Commissioner of Botswana to Namibia. Would you say that the anger of Namibians is justified?
Well, I don't think they were actually. I think as people we have to control our emotions. Some years ago, a member of the Botswana Defence Force was shot exactly at that particular point, the point where this incident happened. He was shot there during the patrols at night without any provocation, and the BDF members did not actually see who was firing. But we knew that the fire was coming from the Namibian side, and we lost a soldier. But we told our people, we talked to our people to say, no, can you lower down your tempers? Well, the two governments will deal with this issue. And indeed, we dealt with it. We did not allow Botswana to go out and stone Namibian vehicles. We did not allow Botswana to go all out and ban the Namibian.
General, are you still there?
To start stoning the vehicles and burning the flag, because we are neighbors, and this sort of issues will happen, like it has happened to us before, and it has happened to them now. So they need to strengthen us, not actually, not actually break us apart.
General, and then I want to move the conversation to what is happening between the two presidents. In various there are comments where it's suggested that President Masisi should have not consulted President Hage Geingob, that this should have been an internal matter. Would you just care to explain the comments that you had made on social media last week?
Well, those comments were made, in reaction to what we saw quite a lot of people were saying, that as if now what had happened was sanctioned by the government of Botswana. We should just know that this actually happened inside Botswana, right? And Botswana, as a sovereign state, had its own laws, its own way of treating issues. So now what we saw were happening out from what these other people were saying there, as if the government is the one which was sending all those the soldiers to go and kill innocent people, and then Botswana were called all sorts of names, terrorists, murderers. So that was totally uncalled for. But we are happy that, our two governments, our two presidents are dealing with that particular issue from a very diplomatic stand.
Then, General, what would you, just in closing, what are the immediate sort of interventions that you would suggest both governments look at to, number one, control poaching in the Chobe district, and number two, also ensure that lives, whether it be the life of a poacher or a fisherman, is not lost anymore?
Indeed, those are very good questions, but like I will always emphasize, the security forces of the two countries have to carry coordinated patrols along that particular border. Secondly, let us, all of us, the two countries, educate our citizens about not crossing into other foreign countries without using the proper channels, without even the proper documentation. If we can do that by going all around educating all our citizens, that will go quite a long way. Also, we should continue all those, we used to have interactions between the officials in Kasane and officials in Katima Molo. Let us continue all those also, so that we can be in touch.
Thank you very much for granting us this interview. Is there any other message that you would perhaps like to extend to Namibians, to citizens of Botswana, and also perhaps also to the families of the victims?
Well, like I've said before, that we are always saddened by loss of life, but we believe that we can work these things together. We believe that we come quite a long way. Botswana and Namibia, friendship, we have relatives on both sides of the border. Let us, when these issues come, let us sit down, let us talk to them like, civilized people, like we have done some years ago. And I think I wish the people of Namibia very well. I wish the people of Botswana very well. Say, let us continue on working together in a very peaceful and harmonious way.
Thank you very much for the time, General.
Thank you very much, sir.